Check out this picture of a spider. At first you think that's not really disturbing. It's just a cellar spider that's been frozen or something. But what actually has been happening is 1,000 times more horrifying. This spider isn't frozen. Instead, it's been taken over by a parasitic zombie fungus. The fungus took over the spider's body and brain, forced the spider to do a series of things, and then when the host wasn't needed, it ate the spider from the inside out, leaving behind this white shell of what used to be a spider, and spreading to the next one. This is the horrifying, disturbing world of parasites and fungi. As I've researched dinosaurs over the years and other animals, one thing I kept finding was the parasites and fungi that can attach to them. While zombies like The Walking Dead or The Last of Us aren't real yet, when you look at other animals outside of humans, you start to see human zombies are closer to reality than we think, especially when you look at insects, where there are literal exact types of fungi that are able to control the brain of these insects, effectively turning them into The Walking Dead. Today I wanted to show you and teach you about some of the most terrifying fungi and parasites that affect insects I could find, and maybe I'll throw in some that have even gone as far as to infect dinosaurs. No human parasites though, those freak even me out a little too much. Let's start strong for what I consider the creepiest fungus to ever exist, Ophiocordyceps, a genus of fungi first scientifically described by British mycologist Tom Petch in 1931. This fungus has around 140 different species that grow primarily in insects. I personally believe this fungus most closely matches the Last of Us fungus. Some even say The Last of Us was based on what would happen if this exact fungus evolved to affect humans. Luckily, this fungus isn't able to due to our high internal body temperatures. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis starts its parasitic life by lying on the ground. These spores are usually pretty sticky, allowing them to stay on the forest floor or on an insect. Then an unsuspecting carpenter ant walks by and the spore sticks onto the ant's exoskeleton. Once inside, the fungus first exists as a bunch of single cells circulating the ant's body fluids. It finds the air of the ant where nutrients are distributed and steals nutrients from the ant to grow. Over the following days to weeks, fungal cells spread throughout the tissue of the ant, including the muscles and head, but actively avoid the brain. Once it grows large enough, the fungal biomass starts to alter the ant's behavior, excreting immune and stress response chemicals similar to GABA-like compounds that move, disrupting normal signaling in the ant. The fungus makes the ant leave its normal trails, move erratically, and isolate itself from other nestmates. Eventually, the fungus takes over the ant's nervous system, and it secretes even more bioactive compounds in the neuromodulators near the ant's nervous system and muscle, causing the ant to wander and tremor. Then, at a very specific time of day, the fungus compels the ant to climb up vegetation, choosing times when temperature and humidity favor fungal growth. The ant is forced by the fungus's mind control to climb higher and higher until it reaches the underside of a leaf or branch. The ant then bites down and locks its mandibles into the edge permanently, called a death grip, hanging there until it dies, with the fungal mycelium also cementing the body onto the leaf by growing out of the ant's shell. After the ant dies, the fungus continues digesting the body from the inside, consuming all the soft tissue and leaving behind only the outer shell. Within a couple of days, a stalk-like fruiting body bursts out of the ant's head and grows over the corpse. The fruiting body then develops more spores and releases them into the environment. The spores fall back and land on the forest floor, starting the cycle again. Another even more disturbing aspect of this fungus is that it's not very rare. In some cases, scientists have found literal entire graveyards of ants, with all the ants locked onto leaves in the exact same death bite position. Each one of these ants has been controlled and killed by the same fungus, which each death only serving to spread it even farther. All these ants have been taken over without any idea, with the fungus having no opinions, thoughts, or feelings about any of this, except the inner drive to continue spreading to the next insect or ant. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis has also been around for tens of millions of years. The oldest known physical evidence of this fungus in action dates back to about 48 million years ago. Scientists have even discovered a perfectly preserved leaf fossil from the Messel pit in Germany that shows the distinct bite scars of an ant making its final fatal death grip on a leaf vein. And that's just physical evidence, with the evolutionary timeline dating back to over 100 million years, meaning that this thing has not only evolved, but has been strong enough to survive at all different parts of Earth. And it raises the question of whether, if it was ever forced to adapt to warm-blooded mammals, it could. These kind of zombie fungi are not unique to ants either. You know the photos I showed in the beginning of the video? That fungus is called Engyodontium areum. It has a 100% mortality rate in spiders. Engyodontium areum is a fungus in the family of cordyceps. This fungus infects spiders in a similar way. The spores land on a cellar spider's body and then penetrate its exoskeleton. Then the mold begins to grow inside the spider. Eventually the fungus gets so strong it takes over the entire spider and consumes it from the inside out. What makes it especially disturbing is the visual it leaves afterward. The spider becomes a pale, fuzzy white ghost of its former self, completely consumed in fungal growth. What looks like just dust or a frozen spider is actually a spider that was slowly consumed alive. As you can see from the videos, this parasitic fungus also spreads extremely fast, where people will often see entire graveyards of these spiders that seem to be frozen in time, when the truth is they are all victims of one thoughtless villain, a villain that has no idea what it's even doing or has done, the fungi. With that terrifying thought, My research then leads us to the most disturbing fungus on this list. This fungus is known as Massospora, and it mainly infects cicadas. In 1845, John H.B. Latrobe read a memoir from Benjamin Banneker at a meeting of Maryland Historical Society. Latrobe read a report written by Banneker in April 1800, where Banneker described strange things happening with the brood X, the type of cicada that lived where he was. Banneker wrote the haunting words, "Begin to sing or make a noise from first they come out of earth till they die. Their hindermost parts rots off, and it does not appear to be any pain to them, for they still continue on singing till they die." It wasn't until 1879 that Charles Horton Peck described the fungus and named it Massospora cicadina. It was later studied in depth in 1920 by Speer, who found the fungus spread extremely quickly when given nutrients in his lab. While most of the fungi previously mentioned aim to consume and kill the insect fairly quickly, this fungi keeps the cicada alive and instead slowly replaces parts of his body with fungal tissue. In some cases, scientists have observed entire sections of the cicada abdomen falling off, only to be replaced with a solid mass of fungus spores. At stage 1, the fungus attaches to the cicada when the nymph is digging its way to the surface from the soil. These infected cicadas also act strangely, spending more time walking around and dragging their abdomen on the ground, which is thought to increase the spread of the fungus. The fungus continues to spread in the cicada's abdomen and body. A horrifying fact is that despite the cicada essentially deteriorating as the mold consumes it, the cicada will continue to fly around. Even more disturbing are the effects the fungus has on the cicada's behavior. Infected males will start acting like females to attract other males. Once the other males come into contact, they become infected with the spores. The cicada literally becomes a living spore dispenser, spreading the fungus while it's being eaten alive. Parasites have even been known to possibly affect dinosaurs. Sue is one of the largest T-Rex specimens ever found and also one of the most complete and best preserved fossils. Measuring over 40 feet long and about 13 feet tall at the hip, it's an incredible fossil. When paleontologists first examined Sue, they noticed something strange. There were a series of neat, perfectly round holes in the lower jaw. Normally these could be explained by bite marks, but these were different and didn't look random. In 2009, a study matched these holes to lesions seen in birds with a parasitic infection called trichomoniasis. The idea was that the parasite spread into the dinosaur's mouth and jaw, slowly creating lesions that made it difficult or impossible for Sue to eat, potentially leading to starvation. While newer studies argue these lesions don't match the parasite well enough, the holes in Sue's jaws are still an open question in paleontology and don't completely rule out a fungus or parasite. And when you take a step back and look at all these different cases, it gets extremely unsettling. All these different insects being taken over by fungus aren't just a single horror. These are fungi that have existed for millions of years, with each one slowly evolving over time to become as perfect as possible at spreading to its next victim. At that point, it's almost completely normal in nature. Insects and entire species can be controlled to do something they would never rationally do, only to be consumed from the inside out and then replaced as the spores spread to the next host. All this happens with the fungi having zero awareness or intent behind it. I mean, these fungi aren't a villain, they don't have some big evil plan. Instead, this is just a result of biology. It's a spore-eat-spore world out there, with zombies and infections being a closer reality than many people think. For now, we're safe with our warm bodies and other weird mammal adaptations, though humans have only been around for roughly 300,000 years. So maybe the fungi just need some time to catch up. Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. This was a super fun topic to research, and I've also really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. So let me know if this video scared you at all, or if you just learned something. So I can't wait to see you guys in my next video, and always check out my previous videos too. I really enjoyed making them. Bye.